大家好，昨天啊，2024年诺贝尔经济学奖啊颁发给了 Daron Acemoglu、Simon Johnson 和这个 James A. Robinson 啊。其中呢，Daron 呢是在现场接受了采访。今天呢，我们给大家播出的是 James A. Robinson 教授的电话采访啊，这是诺奖的保留节目了啊，听听这位大佬啊对获奖的看法。所以这期视频呢分为3部分，第一部分呢是介绍啊 James Alan Robinson 教授，第二部分呢是诺奖网站的这个电话采访，第3部分啊是对他获奖的主要论文和著作的介绍。James Alan Robinson 啊，是1960年出生在英国啊，是一位享誉世界的经济学家和政治学家。他现任呢芝加哥大学哈里斯公共政策经济学院的教授啊。他不仅是一位学者，更是一位热衷于实地研究的全球旅行者。Robinson 的研究啊，足迹遍布全球啊，从非洲的博茨瓦纳、塞拉利昂到拉丁美洲的智利、哥伦比亚，再到亚洲的菲律宾，他都进行过深入研究。每年夏天啊，他都会前往哥伦比亚波哥大的安第斯大学的教书啊。这种持续的实地工作啊，让他的理论研究始终保持着和现实的紧密联系。他的研究呢，主要聚焦于政治经济学、比较政治学以及经济与政治发展领域。Robinson 和 Daron Acemoglu 合著了多本影响深远的著作，包括《国家为什么会失败》、《民主的经济起源》啊等等。这些作品不仅在学术界引起了广泛的关注讨论啊，也给观众啊理解全球不平等问题呢提供了新的视角。2024年啊 ，Robinson 和 Acemoglu 和 Simon Johnson 的共同获得了诺贝尔经济学奖，也表彰他们呢对国家间繁荣差异的这种开创性的比较研究。这项研究啊，不仅是对历史的深入探讨，更给当代发展中国家的政策制定提供了重要参考。Robinson 的工作呢，体现了一个经济学家如何将理论研究和实际的观察相结合，如何通过跨学科的这种方法来解读复杂的社会经济现象。他的研究啊，不仅仅是书斋里的学问啊，更是对全球发展问题的这种深刻洞察和积极探索。好了，话不多说啊，我们听听大佬啊接受诺贝尔官方采访的这个情况啊。
Hello.
Hello, is this James Robinson?
Yes, speaking. Yes.
Hi, this is Adam Smith from the website of the Nobel Prize.
Okay. Yes. Thanks for calling. I got your message. Sorry, my phone was switched off. Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. How did you learn about the prize?
My wife woke me up. One of her friends texted her, and she woke me up and told me.
It's a nice wake-up message. What did she actually say?
You've won the Nobel Prize. I said, no. I think she said, "Get up. You need to get up." I think that's what she said. And I said, "Why?" She said, "You've won the Nobel Prize."
That'll get you out of bed, I guess. And then I suppose there hasn't been a second's rest since then.
No, journalists from the University of Chicago came round at 6:30, so I just had time to get in the shower and make some coffee, yes.
You spend so much time in South America, Sub-Saharan Africa. I suppose the news could just as easily have caught you there.
If it had been in the summer, you would have caught me there, but
Yeah.
I'm teaching at the moment, so I'm here in Chicago, yes.
So what can you say broadly about why there is such a disparity between poorer nations and the rest of the world?
Well, I think that's an outcome of a long historical process, but in our work, what we've identified are these institutional and political differences between developed and underdeveloped countries, and the way in which there's enormous differences in how inclusive the societies are in terms of the opportunities and incentives they give people. So our work is focused on trying to show how these different institutional structures create poverty or prosperity.
Your work has looked at the sources of those institutional structures and especially their roots in colonialism. But do you understand, in a way, the intractability of the system, how difficult it is to change? Is that something that is...
Well, that's something we have looked at. Yeah, I think, there's enormous persistence in the world, but you also see examples of transition from, what we call extractive to inclusive institutions, that countries that manage to change. I mean, look, every prosperous country today historically was extractive. Think of the United States. Think of the history of slavery and the expropriation of indigenous people, and there's a lot of extraction historically in this country, and there was a struggle to create more inclusive institutions and a more inclusive society. But that's true of, it's true of my own country, of Britain, and so, there have been transitions, and we've tried to study those too. Yes.
I mean, I know it's ridiculous to try and summarize things in just a phrase or two, but what would be the key for societies in thinking about changing from being extractive to inclusive?
The key to that transition is just really collective action by citizens, by people who suffer under extractive institutions and inequality and marginalization. So I think if you look at that history, think about the civil rights movement. That's a fantastic example of people getting organized collectively to fight for their rights, to fight against extractive economic and political institutions in the United States in the 1950s and 1960s.
So it's a bottom-up change then?
I think that's right. I don't think, inclusive institutions are not created by well-meaning elites. They're created by people who fight for their rights and fight for a different vision of society.
Nicely said. I just wanted to ask you very briefly about your relationship with your co-laureates. You obviously all have a very close working relationship. What is it that makes it go so well?
Well, we're all very close friends. I think that we're all good at different things, and we all respect each other very much. And we just have fun talking about ideas and thinking about the world. And we're all, I don't know.
Yeah. I know that all sorts is going on around you. Thank you very much indeed. Many, many congratulations, right. And thanks for talking to me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
那看完 James Robinson 的采访之后啊，我们再回顾他的学术成就啊，不仅让人对他这项研究的这种深远影响啊感到惊叹。首先啊 ，Robinson 和他的合作者们呢，研究啊不仅是在学术界产生巨大影响，而且在过去20多年里一直保持着强大的生命力。他们在2001年发表在美国经济评论上的文章啊，叫 The Colonial Origins of Comparative Development and Empirical Investigation， 迄今为止被引用超过了18600次。这篇论文啊，给我们理解全球经济不平衡提供了一个全新的视角啊，强调了呢历史制度对现代经济发展的这种深远影响。其次啊，他们的研究呢，不仅局限于学术圈啊，还通过畅销书 Why Nations Fail 啊，2013年的，把复杂的经济学理论呢传播给了更广泛的受众啊。这本书呢被引用超过了17000次，就显示了他们的研究啊对公共政策讨论的这种重要影响。那 Robinson 的惊人的总引用量就超过了12万次，和他的 H 指数啊104也清楚地表明呢，他的研究啊不仅在数量上令人印象深刻，在质量和持久性上也表现出色啊。这种持续的影响力证明了他们的理论啊在解释当代经济问题方面具有强大的解释力。那在采访中啊 ，Robinson 强调呢，制度变革需要自下而上的推动啊，这个观点呢和他们的研究发现是高度一致的。这就提醒我们在思考经济发展的同时，不能忽视公民参与和集体行动的重要性。他们的研究啊，对发展中国家是有重要启示的。他告诉我们呢，要实现长期的经济增长和繁荣，建立包容型的政治经济制度是至关重要的。它不仅是一个经济问题，更是一个涉及到社会公平和政治改革的复杂议题。最后呢 ，Robinson 和他的合作者们之间的这种密切关系，也让我们看到呢，在学术研究中啊，团队合作和跨学科的这种方法的重要性。他们的成功就证明啊，把经济学、政治学和历史学相结合，可以产生更全面、更有影响力的这种研究成果。所以啊，总的来说呢 ，Robinson 和他的同事们啊，他研究啊，不仅改变了我们理解经济发展的方式，也给我们如何应对全球不平等的问题呢，提供了新的发展思路。他的工作呢，提醒我们，在追求经济发展的同时，不能忽视制度建设和社会公平的重要性。而且呢，制度优势不是一句口号，而是一个学术概念。所以这项研究的持续影响力呢，无疑就证明了它的诺贝尔奖级别的价值，也让我们期待啊， 这些见解能够持续推动全球发展政策的这种改进。好的，谢谢观看，再会。